Obviously, it's got to look good. That's why she's got to get her hair blown out when all the hair salons and everything.
Steve Bannon mistook for Dog the Bounty Hunter when she first showed up. Thought it was about his subpoena.
No.
Really? Nancy Pelosi is a beautiful woman. You've seen her in person, right, Dana, like I have?
I have indeed. She is actually she's a lovely woman, and this is coming from Marjorie Taylor Greene. Let's please remember that.
It's just,
and I'm not going to shame anyone's looks, but I also, if I was in a bar fight, I would reach for her first. I'm not
Nancy Pelosi is what, 81? She looks amazing. It's just this is the level that they work at now.
Of course,
right? Just trolling. It's
disgusting.
And Lindsey Graham. I know you're not going to say it, but I don't know what he's talking about.
We had 40,000 Brazilians come through the Yuma sector alone, headed for Connecticut, wearing designer clothes and Gucci bags.
What?
This is not economic migration anymore. People see an open America. They've taken advantage of us, and it won't be long before a terrorist gets in this crowd.
Is he jealous of the Gucci handbags and shoes?
Bags. I mean, for him to notice the handbags first, I'm not saying, I'm just saying.
Wow.
Also, I wonder 40,000 Brazilians if he thinks it's called a Brazilian. Like, a Brazilian people are on their way over. What a ridiculous statement by...
Wow, I did not know we were being invaded by Brazilians with Gucci handbags, but that is good to know. Wow, okay. Well,
it does sound like a dream sequence he had or something he swiped on. Hey, he was a Brazilian with a Gucci handbag. What was the question?
Crossing the border at Yuma?
By the way, Jeffrey Rosen, the acting attorney general, feeling chatty yesterday, Travis.
Oh,
no, 8 hours of closed-door testimony yesterday. He was asked about his interactions with Jeffrey Clark, who, if is not in prison yet, should not pass go and should immediately
not collect. He has been subpoenaed.
Yes.
Yes. So, they just subpoenaed Jeffrey Clark. He's the guy, right? This is the guy. Eastman are really behind this whole coup thing, right? They wrote to Clark, the Select Committee's investigation has revealed credible evidence that you attempted to involve the Department of Justice in efforts to interrupt the peaceful transfer of power. You proposed that the department send a letter to state legislators in Georgia and other states suggesting that they delay certification of their election results and hold a press conference announcing the department was investigating allegations of voter fraud, this is completely bull. They knew that there were no allegations. They just it's like Ukraine all over again. They just wanted them to say, oh, the DOJ's, investigating some things, so just hold a press conference and say that. I mean, this is really the Ukraine scandal, like all over again, just on steroids, right?
Absolutely, 100%. And I would imagine they've already started typing up these resolutions, that whether they have to give them or not to Congress, we'll see. But we know that Bannon, who's signing executive privilege, which is hilarious because I feel like I could then, like any of us could. If Bannon can, we all can.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. But Jeffrey Clark is probably going to do the same thing with his subpoena. But we'll see. We'll see. A lot of these guys, they don't have as much, I would say, protection. As people like Bannon does, because Bannon knows where the bodies are buried. So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, and they already have a lot of information. That's the thing. It's like they don't know what they already know.
Well, that's what the subpoena said. It said, we have credible evidence saying you did this.
Well, they wrote it down.
Everything. Exactly.
Eastman wrote it down, right? Were you going Rumsfeldian on me? The things that they know that we don't know, that they know, that are unknowable, but they know. Some known knowns and something. Okay. Dana.
Will they get there? Sure.
Sure.
Is it going to be as efficient as a dictatorship? No. Is it going to be vastly more desirable? You bet.
You betcha.
What he knows that they may not know, and make sure he knows what they know that he may not know.
Okay. All right. The only thing I know to be true, Dana, is that Donald Trump is absolutely right. He said if we don't solve the presidential election fraud of 2020, Republicans will not be voting in 22 or 24. It is the single most important thing for Republicans to do. He is correct. And I say God bless the United States. That is absolutely...
God bless the United States.
He was in mid-fit over the judge in Georgia being the latest to rule against his supporters' attempts to audit the absentee ballots in that state. Here we go again. Trump complained after a long wait. Judge in Georgia refuses to let us look at the ballots, which I have little doubt are terrible. They're terrible, Dana.
Terrible ballots.
The
Terrible
whole
ballots, 'cause
situation.
They don't say my name.
The whole situation's a disgrace to our country. The 2020 election should have been overturned many months ago. Yes, they need to. Okay, how do they not get this party that this is all about him? That he's explicitly stating, I am going to destroy the party and burn it to the ground and make sure that nobody votes. No Republicans vote in 22 or 24 unless you reinstall me. I mean, he is their mad king, right? And they're just like, oh, yes, sir.
He's also like, we broke up with him and now he just keeps checking our Instagram. He's like, I want to see who they're dating. I want to know what's going on. And then he tries to come to the house and say all kinds of bad things about your present partner, and they're not true. And he's just screaming things from the front yard. No one will give him a boombox. It's a very sad sign. It's very sad.
Sue in Rockville. Hello, Sue. You're on with Dana.
Hey, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
You said one thing earlier. I just want everyone to always remember this. Trump never changed the Republican Party. He simply revealed the rotten inner core that they are. They're a party of, anti-Semitic, homophobic, racist, treasonous bastards. They're in it for themselves, for the money, for the power. They haven't passed a bill in 30 years that help working and middle-class Americans. And thank you, Trump, for telling them to stay home and not vote. They must obey dear leader. And listen, they're in the cult.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Dana, it has become just, it is. It's just a cult. It is they're just not a governing party. That's the only thing we could say to John Yarmouth earlier is no wonder he's retiring. They're not a governing party. You can't negotiate with them. They're not for anything.